Let me continue with the second part of the first session. Uh, Second part of the first sessions, we would like to continue with the acquired immunity. Let's have a strong basis. What is acquired immunity? So, acquired immunity is when the body gets exposed to a natural environment, and then our body develop a certain resistance to a disease. That is called acquired immunity. Human get resistant to the body when it gets exposed to a certain kind of germs, microscopic organisms. Like there are two types, active and passive. In active, during lifetime, we come across with the antigenic substance or the harmful microorganisms that infects our body. So one time when the human gets infected with this, our body actually keeps a memory of this, and that's why second time attack would be definitely our body becomes much more active and it can be very well defended. Passive immunity is resistance that is transmitted to recipient in a ready-made form. For example, baby born, just born, the body immune system has not developed well, so mother need to supply the some kind of immunity, some kind of body protections immunity. So baby normally get the some kind of substance that protects our body from the infections, particularly the colostrum, which contains immunoglobulin A. Active immunity again involves the functioning of the host immune apparatus, synthesis of antibody production, immunity. Yes, I said this is all what happens is one-time infections lead to a memory cells, lead to a production of memory cells. Memory cells will further produce all kind of, keep all the time ready to defend from such kind of bacterial infection in near future. And this active immunity is brought about by the two different types of cells, that is T cells and B cells. Active immunity, secondary response. If individual exposed to antigens, exposed to same antigen again and again, there will be second time would be a much more quicker action by these immunological cells. Therefore, there is also immunological memory cells which will retain the memory prior antigenic exposure. Therefore, second invasion by the same microbes won't be so dangerous, because our body can very well defend, because all the cells are well, they have kept the memory, they are able to read the antigens that affects our body, so body can defend very well. Immunity natural is effect, of course, infected from the environment. In when a person has got infected from the environment by the pathogen, would have everlasting solution actually. Therefore, normally doctor advises us to not to take antibody, because our body become too dependent. If the some new bacteria infects us, then we need to develop a resistance so that our body keeps a memory, produce a memory cells which can remember the particular antigens, and in case of second time attack by such microbes would be defended very well. These are some of the examples which naturally we are protected. Most of us are protected from the polio virus. Sorry. Also we are, for example, chicken pox and the measles are lifelong immunized actually. Such disease do not attack once it is being immunized from the when they are a small baby. Then whole life this kind of disease would not repeat. Influenza and common cold are the some of the one which some of the viral disease which can be very well immune, becomes very immune to our body once gets infected. A natural immunity can be a permanent solution. So the immunity following the bacterial infection is less permanent than virus, because of uh, bacterial infection is less permanent than the virus, because viral infection can be controlled very well, whereas bacterial is quite difficult. So permutation infections is a reinfection lasts, I mean, like a certain period of time only. All right. Then there is a we try to give a different type of dose. If you have seen the TV BCG vaccine that is given to our uh, young born babies, are either attenuated or half killed bacteria is being injected into the body of a baby, so that baby knows baby's body cell would know the bacteria, TB causing bacteria, and in the event in future if such bacteria enters to the body, baby's body would be cells are very well equipped and ready to defend those bacteria. That is why either live or half killed or the bacterial products are injected into the body of an baby, so that in future bacterial borne disease are prevented by the body of the host. So these are all how this is being administered. Like it can be live packs either orally, or it can be prenatally, or it can be infected through the or I mean, like, by uh, administering orally, or it can be through the injections. Right. So these are the different ways of putting injecting those different components of the bacteria, either is a killed or half killed or the life. All right, these are the ways to make the different kind of so here, yeah, passive immunity. Passive is like, when the mother is supplying the some kind of antigens via placenta is one. Another is after the baby is born, still mother continue to provide through milk. And so these are how the baby become very dependent in the early stage of their development. So this is called passive and natural. Of course, it's a natural, it gets from the mother. Now passive, naturals, yeah, this is already we talked about. That is, even after that there is an active, the concentrations in the blood fetal, the transport of antibody across the placenta is active. This is just a further explanations of exactly what I said just before. There is also passive immunity, or the artificial. The body becomes so body, like, when the body is not really able to defend the microorganism, then we need to take up medicines, and these medicines are the artificial, brings artificial immunity. So we try to take a medicine, antibodies. These are artificial immunity. It leads to artificial immunization. So how this artificial immunization brought about? It can be like, those bacteria is being injected into the horse, and the horse produce a blood serum along with a lot of antibiotics. These blood serums is being injected to the human to protect from such bacteria. So this is actually the process. And similarly, anti-tetanus, and there is a antivenoms, anti botulisms. These are all produced in the different groups of animals, and it is being injected into the human body. The blood serum is being injected into the human body. Normally, antisera of the animals is origin is indicated only where human sera is not available. As far as human blood sera is being injected to prevent from such bacterial infections. However, these are the antibody. However, this is an antibody, all right? We are producing directly against the bacterial or any microbes that harms our body. So this is just a summary of whatever we have discussed about. So you can see it again. And now what you have to understand is innate immunity response to the broader range of microbes, external defense, skin, mucus, secretion, internal defense, phagocytic cell, and to antibacterial proteins, inflammatory response, natural killer cells. Acquire immunity is brought about by the humoral response, that is an B cells, and cell mediated response brought about by the T cells. So there is this is the innermost defending cells. These cells produce even memory, so which means cell can remember which kind of bacteria or the virus has attacked which time. So in case of repeated second attack, these can very well act. So therefore they are very specific. They are very specific response. Here these are not non-specific. So if you are asked what are the difference between specific and non-specific, you can talk about this. All right, this is all about the process of how the malaria vaccine is. Quite interesting. No malaria vaccines are available so far. No effective vaccines are produced. Therefore, the exposure to the malarial parasite does not confer lifelong protections. Is very difficult. All right, and there are some questions probably I would like you to actually read through and try to answer these questions. Right, before I say thank you, I'd like you to go through these books. Probably these are the free editions available online. You can type and find out for yourself. All right, this is all for the second part of the first session. With this, I'd like to say thank you very much, and then please try to respond to the questions for yourself. That will help you to prepare for the exam.